What is up, guys? How you doing? Welcome to the channel. I'm jakebjammin. All right, so sorry I've been gone for a while. Had some personal stuff kind of going on, but I did have a reaction for the latest Sleep Token song, but my mic was not fully plugged in, so the audio sounds like poop. So I apologize for that. I was going to come back for that. So I will share my thoughts on that song when the full album comes out. I'll do a full album reaction of the Sleep Token album. But for today, we got something absolutely freaking incredible. I wanted to put this out earlier, actually when it came out, but stuff happens. You know what I mean? But we got new Loathe. Finally, after 5 years, we got new Loathe. I know they came out with some little things here and there, and they came out with that one experimental single. But we got some new Loathe, and I couldn't be more happy. I fucking love Loathe. They're so experimental. They're so dark and eerie, and just, I don't know. There's something about them that just like draws you in and like kind of keeps you guessing and wondering like, what the hell's gonna happen? What's gonna happen? What is happening? You know what I mean? So I'm super stoked to listen to this. So let's just get right into it. I can't wait. All right. Here we go. Do the tango in the pit, baby. Like they never fucking left. Dude, this is so groovy and sludgy. It's like people coming out of the mud in the bayou, just down, 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 down. Even though they're UK. It's like punky and like death metal, kind of. Dude, you don't know what the hell they're gonna do. Ooh. Dude, this is so fucking chunky. But that dude, the drums are nuts. I love these parts of Loathe. Just something absolutely disgusting, and then we're just like floating in the ether. Ooh, that guitar. It sounds like a different kind of version of the sludgy but just like lighter. Like we were in hell and now we're in heaven, in space. Oh yeah. Yo, someone got a maraca? Oh my god. Loathe. We're back, baby. Thornhill and Loathe in the same year. I thought I was gonna get destroyed. Dude, tango in the pit. God? I gotta do Loathe. Sexy guitar? Dude, we're just ripping his solo. Got a little bluesy in it. Look at these dudes. Family photo. Oh, is it fading out to the guitar? Oh. It's like that album that... Ooh, the bass. Down, 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 down. Two-way mirror. Oh my god. Okay, so that was Gifted Every Strength by Loathe. How do you say, like, one step above masterpiece? Is there a word for that? I love Loathe. I love them. And I do not care if my love for them and my anxiousness of waiting for new music to come out may blind me, but I don't think it is. That was incredible. Right? Am I crazy? All right. Loathe. It's interesting because Loathe, they've been around, obviously, touring and stuff like that, but musically they've been gone. A lot of stuff has happened. Sleep Token has gotten really big, and I know Sleep Token, Loathe, what's that other band? They all kind of came out not around the same time, but like we're starting to like get some traction in the UK at the same time, maybe, unless I'm completely wrong. Holding Absence, like all those dudes, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, Holding Absence is a little bit different because they're more rock, but they were kind of coming out at the same time, and I think they all toured together and stuff like that, like Loathe and Holding Absence. I don't know if Loathe toured with Sleep Token or Sleep Token toured with either of those guys, but like, it's so much has happened since. Sleep Token has kind of gotten huge on the scene. Thornhill has kind of adapted the like chunky, sexy, a little bit of Deftonesy sound to it that Loathe, kind of was experimenting with as well. Not fully, but experimenting with it a little bit. And it's so crazy that when they come back, they do something and it's like completely new. Like they still have that eeriness. They still have that like that sludgy, dirty, like grimy riffs. But like it was different. It was more funky in this one. And it was proggy. It was really, really proggy. Like Loathe has always kind of had a little bit of prog in them because they were jumping around everywhere, making a lot of weird noises and kind of doing very out of the box kind of songwriting and stuff like that. But this is probably their most proggy song. At least the most proggy song they've done in a long time. And it was amazing, and like the etherealness of it, which they've always had, but they didn't put, I don't know, it didn't seem as Deftonesy as a lot of people would kind of say in terms of their vocals, when like with a lot of their older, with their last album and stuff before it, where everyone's like, oh, you got that Chino kind of vocals and stuff like that. This one felt different. Like it had like an etherealness to it, but it felt different. This is just like Loathe is in a league of their own. It seems like they took their time. I don't know what circumstances they went through. I don't know if they really wanted to take their time, wrote and then didn't like it, and then wrote and didn't like it. I remember seeing a story about the guitarist, Eric, I believe. Eric is the guitarist. I remember him saying something about when he showed people I Let It In and It Took Everything. There was like maybe a little bit less than half the songs that were on there, or there were songs missing, and they showed it to people and they were like, I don't know if I get this. Like, what is this? You know what I mean? And I don't know, like, I don't remember him saying maybe something like they got nervous and they kind of wrote more and stuff like that. And so they just added on to the album. I think I'm getting that story right. Like, I remember them showing people and them not understanding, but then they added on to it and they kind of got, I guess, inspiration to write more. With this one, I don't know if it was the same situation or like they just like really wanted to take their time, because I know they lost a member, the other guitarist. I'm blanking on his name, but he left and is doing his own thing now. So it's like, I wonder if like that dynamic, you got to like kind of find a new dynamic, with just the 4 dudes instead of the 5, so it's just so unique, so special. And I don't know, it was like, I guess if the only thing that I would say is something I wasn't a fan of maybe as much as the vocals were very in the back of the mix. The instrumentals were very prominent, and that bass and that chugginess of guitar, especially the guitar and bass, like, was really prominent in the beginning, and like a lot of the ethereal stuff, like the vocals were kind of like another instrument. They kind of blended together as another instrument, which I'm sure is something that they wanted to do and something that they did intentionally. But I know that as I listen to it more and more, I'm probably going to fall in love with it. But like, that's the first thing that comes to mind. It really makes me think and like speculate and wonder like what this album is going to be like. Because with me, I was not necessarily worried because I have loved everything Loathe has put out, but I was curious to see if Loathe was going to go into a softer direction. Kind of have I Let It In and It Took Everything kind of be like their heavy shit, and then kind of go in a softer route, especially because that was the route that people were taking in the 22s, 23s, 2022, 23, like that. People were getting softer a little bit, and then as it kind of went on, people were like, oh wait, we actually like heavy music. I think Sleep Token helped with that. I think some of the kind of little bit of heavy stuff with Bad Omens and stuff like that, that was more of the sexiness on that stuff. But like, I think like people were like, oh, heavy riffs and like screams are kind of cool again. Or like people who never liked it are like, oh, I can actually kind of get into this. And bands started doing heavier stuff. I feel like bands are like, you know what, let's just do some heavy stuff. Like Thornhill, this last record is heavier than their than this record that just came out, Bodies, is heavier than Heroin. And it's I don't know, it's just so interesting, and I'm curious to see if like this album has evolved as the times went on, and they're kind of changing and adding and taking away and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm curious to see what they put out. Like, I'm so excited, and this made me even more excited because they're doing something weird, they're doing something heavy, they're doing something ethereal, you know what I mean? Like, stuff I love from Loathe, but like on another level. And that's all I can ask for. That's all I can ask for. Sorry, you can hear my dog. What did you guys think? Let me know down below what you guys think of this song. Let me know what you think this album, like what direction this album's going to go. You think it's going to be darker and heavier than I Let It In? Do you think they're going to have a little bit more softer moments than they did than I Let It In? I know they had a lot, but, you know, like they had Two-Way Mirror, and I think Screaming was a little bit more on the lighter side too, if I'm remembering right. Like, what do you guys think? Let me know. Thank you so much for checking out the video. I promise I'm going to keep putting out some more videos. I'm really sorry that it's been a little bit of time, but I appreciate you. You guys are freaking awesome. And hey, keep on jamming.